Hi class, this is Professor McGee, and this is a sample of a student blog that was created for one of my courses. This was about, obviously, Fab Philly Foodie, and all of the entries. The student did all of the pictures and ate all the food. Doesn't it look good? Yes, it does. This is just one example of a blog that a student has created, and I'm showing this to you because you are going to be creating a blog for this course. Once we go through our intro of magazine industry and the book publishing industry, you're really going to see how the gatekeeper situation has really changed, and it's really now possible because of electronic and digital publishing that anyone can start a blog, you can start a magazine, you can start a website. You don't have to ask anybody's permission. So that's the good news, obviously. But the challenge is that you want to do a really good job with your digital publishing. And that's really what we'll cover through the rest of the course, is how to really be a digital publisher yourself. And, you might not want to blog later on. Maybe you want to start a magazine later, or maybe you want to do a website for a company. The skills that you'll learn in this class are very transferable to doing that. So the best practices that you're going to learn for optimizing online content, for reading, and also visual appeal will really help you create anything online in the future. So that's one aspect of the course that I think is really, really, really helpful. You really will learn a lot of the, the best practices that really apply to all kinds of digital and online content. Now, what are you going to blog about? Okay, that's obviously the $64,000 question. So this was a food blog. Obviously, the student liked food. She liked taking pictures. Here's another one, very different, but it's called Birds, Bees, and Degrees. Very cute. She did a great job branding this blog and really making it have a look. And I thought she did a great job. Let me show you another one. Nope, that's the same one. Where'd it go? I lost one. All right, I'll find it. Oh, here it is. Sorry, I thought I was going to have to stop and find it. It's called Bombshell, and this was a gamer girl blog. And so you'll see all of them are a little different. And the students have really, customized them. We call this branding. And they have, titles, and then they have their subtitles, and they have, basic content areas. And this is what you'll be creating. You'll have a homepage, you'll have about, you will have contact, and you will have resources. In some ways, this is, again, a little bit, kind of mimics a little bit more of, not just a blog, but also a little bit of a website. If you're feeling overwhelmed, please don't, okay? Everybody finds a topic. I've had students do super personal topics like dealing with mental illness, bipolar, or depression in college. I've had students do music, travel, food. Obviously, these are very, very popular. You might say, oh, well, there's just a million music blogs. Well, then why not 1,000,001? Okay, don't be put off by, a lot of competition. Like as we used to say in the book industry, or as I used to say, it just shows that these are popular topics. And so don't be concerned about that. You can do a process blog, like where you are, let's say you want to become minimal and declutter your life, so that each of the posts would follow you doing that. Or you want to start yoga or mindfulness, and you kind of want to have almost like an online process documentation of that experience. Okay. The only things that are not permitted would be super creative writing. Like you're not going to have a blog that's just going to be your poetry. You could have a blog about poetry and poets that you like, or writing poetry that could include some of your original poetry. But the original poetry can't be what the blog is about. The other thing is it has to be legal, so you can write about why you think marijuana should be legalized, but you can't blog about vaping or smoking weed or something like that. You could do I've had a few students do craft beer, and that's perfectly fine as long as you're 21. So those are really the only things that are off limits. I'm really good at helping people figure out what they want to blog about and write about, and so, but it should be something that you really are going to enjoy writing about, and I do say that because you really will get kind of sick of it too. I mean, or you'll feel like, oh my God, I have nothing left to say, and everybody goes through that. So my point being in saying that is that you should have, it's something that you can envision yourself writing about quite a bit. And again, don't be overwhelmed, don't be intimidated by any of the technology. We are going to use, this is a WordPress site, we are going to use WordPress to create your blogs, and we do that because it's the most widely used out in the real world by potential employers, businesses, industries. I mean, it's organizations really use WordPress. It's kind of the, at least for now, it remains the most popular. If you already have a blog that you started and maybe on another platform, you can talk to me about maybe working with that anyway on the other platform. I don't have any experience though using Wix for a blog. I've done Weebly websites, I've done Wix websites, so they're very different. They're good, but again, WordPress is the leader. But if you already have one that you started on Wix, I'm happy to work with you. The condition is, though, that you have to agree to optimize all of your text and visuals in the best practices that you're learning in this class. And so all content on the blog has to be formatted in that way. Okay, so that's my my caveat. And again, let me assure you, I have not lost one student, especially online. I tend to lose even fewer students. So you will have plenty of time. Well, you'll reach this point where you'll be like, oh my God, there's all this stuff I have to do. You'll have plenty of time, really and truly. Again, I can't emphasize that enough. It's truly a process, and it is a one that will unfold over time. Okay, so I'm here if you want to start throwing ideas my way. You can, if you're stuck, please just reach out. I'm very good at unsticking people. It's one of my fortes. I also really enjoy coming up with blog titles like the whole title here. So this is the main title, Bombshell, and this is the reading line, Fashion and Style for Gamer Girls. Let me just look back at the other one here. This one was Birds, Bees, and Degrees, and this was the reading line, A College Student's Guide to Sexuality. So you don't always have to have the reading line, but in this case, you really would need it, because Birds, Bees, and Degrees, like, that might be a little confusing, but the reading line clearly explains what it's all about. Okay, so I'm really looking forward to working with everybody. Let's have a great blogging experience.